Why did we change Craig's name to Greg?
For memes. I
Um,
didn't approve of this meme,
What's
by
the
the way.
meme?
Don't know. Somebody, I think Archie called him Greg, or was it Mercedes who called him Greg? I can't. Somebody called him Greg.
He was
and then
called
somebody
Greg by
changed the name.
someone, so he's now Greg.
Yes.
That's just how it is, okay? It's just how it be.
His name is no longer his name.
Yeah,
that sucks.
my name is my name. Does not apply here. It's not a different name.
Oh man, did him so dirty.
I mean, Greg's a perfectly fine name. Gregory.
Gregory. Sounds like a Harry Potter character.
Yeah, Gregory.
Well, anyway, we might as well not keep the people waiting. You know, highly anticipated episode right here by all of us. By all of us, I mean just Clark. It seems like he was the only one that truly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Luckily, you
it was
don't
good.
have. Luckily, you don't have Merceline here, who'd call it, who'd give it like, put it trash and then give it a 7. But
You forgot to do your introduction, by the way. You forgot to do the
I'm
whole.
not starting yet. I haven't done.
Oh
See,
my
you're
gosh,
ruining my.
dude.
This is the. It's called the prelude.
Yeah, yeah,
prelude.
yeah.
Do
Put it
that
on
for
the
a
page.
podcast?
Put it on the
This
Patreon. Put it on the
guy.
Patreon.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna make
Just
an
on
own.
Patreon. Oh yeah, of course. Could I figure? You're spoiling the business ideas for the future, mate. Tease them first.
Or
You don't
I'm
die
just
on these
throwing
hills,
them
but
out
you
there
can
right
rub
now.
both of them.
What?
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Welcome to the Double Dollar Ice Cream Podcast. Don't I on hills. You live on hills. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Something like
Clark?
that.
Oh, I love a
Susan?
good hill.
Well, you know. Anyway, see, Clark, you've thrown me off of my mojo, mate. Like this is a bad omen for the episode.
The bad omen for the
Okay.
episode is watching this.
Okay. Welcome to the Double Dollar Ice Cream Club podcast. We don't live on hills, we die on them. Anti-podcast because we don't like us either. And we're going to be talking about Log Horizon, Clark's favorite anime. And
Don't say that.
because it's his favorite anime,
Oh my
he can kick us off. Go ahead, the floor is
Are you
yours.
bullying Clark because he's black?
Yes.
Yeah, come on now.
I'll Clark on Instagram. See exactly why I bully him.
Do not follow me on Instagram. Do not do that.
Easy. Wait, go ahead. What's yours?
What am I going ahead with?
What do you think?
Your
You know how
thoughts?
this works, man.
Yeah, my thoughts?
Yes.
Season 1 isn't very good.
Okay.
Season 2 is good. Season 3 is excellent.
Okay.
Hey, but we watched season 1, so we're talking about.
But last time when we did the Eden of the East meeting, I decided to watch the movies to get a better picture of what's going on.
Okay.
So what I gathered from my research is that season 1 is just setting up all the characters, so you get to meet all the characters, and then from there, the next seasons actually get into more of the plot stuff and like them actually trying to get back home, and like them
There's a
finding
plot?
about new things. Yes, there actually is, and there are stakes eventually.
Stakes. What stakes?
Well, in
Are they
season
seasoned?
2. Okay.
Yes. I hope so.
Yeah. In season 2, um, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the term flavor text.
What?
Let's say I am.
So in video games, just in general, there's items, and those items will have like a description of what they are, and then sometimes they'll have something to do with like lore in the game. So the flavor text of items become like actually what happens. So some of the weapons like kill their own, well, not kill, but like mess up their people who are wielding them, or like they can like actually kill you. And then from there they start to realize that the longer that they're in that world, the more stuff is going to happen like that, and then the more chances that they might have to not get back to their world, which
Okay.
is definitely a stake, I feel. A nice rare steak.
Is that stakes for?
It's just like it's a small steak. It's a piece of steak. I wouldn't call it
It's a
an
piece of steak.
entire steak.
I feel like it is still
Example.
very important though, since the whole goal of them is trying to get out, and now they're basically on a time limit to do so.
Sounds like a lamb.
A
Lamb
lamb.
steak,
Yeah.
like a pork chop.
Yeah, pork chop. Mate, look. Okay, that's all good and all, but it took them an entire season to
They
implement
did.
something like that.
They did take a very long time trying to lay out the basis for stuff,
Oh
which
my
I feel
God.
like they didn't have to take that much time. But like season 2, half the season is like Shiro and those elf guys that didn't want part of the round table. They went on like one of the raids, and it took them like a whole month. But it was like really interesting to see how like the raid mechanics actually worked.
Hmm. But okay, that's fair enough. But now that you've seen all 3 seasons, and we're just talking exclusively about this particular season, you can now acknowledge more of its shortcomings.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because before I had this show rated definitely higher than I have it now, but after watching season 2, I had to lower it, and then after watching season 3, I had to lower both the other ones.
But that's not a particularly good sign, but okay.
It's not a good sign, but I mean, at least it means it's getting better.
Yeah, but think about the sacrifice that you have to make. You have to go through season 1, then maybe go
Yeah.
to a slightly better season 2, which might not be greatly better than season 1. To get to season 3, still might be lackluster because you're so annoyed by season 1 and 2. You're like, man, went in with a lot of resentment.
Well, season 2 by no means was bad, I feel like that's still it's not one of my highest rated shows, but it's still like I gave it an 8 for season 2, so I actually like liked that one way more.
Hmm.
But I feel another reason why I like these shows is just because like I'm interested in doing politics. Obviously, that's not what I want to do in college because I don't want to have to deal with that for my whole life. But I just like if
Howard.
there's politics classes at school, I take them because I just find it interesting.
What about
And
like
like,
debate clubs?
no,
Debating people?
I'm not joining my school's debate club because
Aw.
I will walk in there and say you're all wrong and just leave.
Sounds like politics to me.
Yep.
Hey. Yeah, okay, you all suck.
Oh, come on now.
Okay. Svat, what are your thoughts on the entirety of season 1?
I mean, it's just all very lackluster. Like it takes a long time to get going. I understand why they put a lot of detail in the like the world and the mechanics in the world and like all the they introduce a bunch of characters in season 1, but it's it takes like the main character's a bit out of focus. The main character is cool and all, but you kind of know what he's gonna do eventually. Like he's just gonna find some clever way, to manipulate people, manipulate game mechanics, to get what he wants. Yeah, and then not much. Well, a lot of things happen in season 1, but a lot of them are very, it's like there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of like strategizing, but because of the like lack of stakes, it was hard for me to get invested in the wider plot. Like they did mention things that up the stakes a little bit, saying that you lose a bit of your memory when you die, when you respawn, which is cool and all, but it's not quite like, is that really something you should be too worried about, because they're not really going to die that often anyway, especially the higher level guys.
Okay, well, I beg to differ. Just like not even because I've seen the rest of the seasons, they don't even really talk about it that much. But the big guilds, like the raid guilds, they still raid. I'm pretty sure it says that in season 1.
Yeah.
And like Krusty and all his guys, they try grinding up to level 100 like right when the update comes out, even though they're all stuck in the world. And he did mention that he's died quite a few times and has like had memory loss issues.
But he doesn't seem
So
concerned about it though. That's the thing. So he's done that, but
he's
then
not too concerned about it yet, just because the quantity of memories that he's lost haven't been that much.
yeah, exactly. So it's like you can die a bunch of times, you can lose a bunch of memory, but you're still not concerned. It doesn't set a good precedent for being afraid of death in the game, especially if you're like, say you're Shiro, you're basically like, it's very unlikely you'll lose any memories, because he's not going to get into that position where he's where he risks losing a key memory, even if it's like incredibly unlikely. But yeah,
MC
I do think the world is
plot
interesting. It is like it's like a cool concept, making it based on like a realistic take on an MMO. But yeah, it's just I can never really get invested with the in the plot and the characters.
Mm,
And the
yeah.
end was a bit like season 2 bait, I guess, because nothing much happens in the final. They have like a one of the, I think, NPCs tries to stir the pot a little bit, but then inevitably fails. Then they introduce a new character right at the end, in preparation for what I assume.
That blonde guy, is that who you're talking about?
Well, him, yeah, and then like the like the black-haired girl with the cat ears
Oh, yeah.
and her.
All right. Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I like my steaks and I like them juicy. There wasn't enough juice, nor was there enough steak on this plate for me to feel fulfilled. My meal. The whole them losing their memory thing was fine, but yeah, it's still not enough. There's a bunch of characters I didn't care about, and they kept introducing new ones. So the ones I didn't care about before, and then those new ones that were introduced, and I didn't care about those new ones either because I didn't really get to know the ones before. So that was a bit annoying. I said this before. I feel like I don't know. Maybe they could have paced the whole introducing the scope of this world. I think they could have actually slowed that down a bit, because I'll give them their props. They showed a lot of this world and explaining it and showing all these different factions and stuff. But I think if they had just focused it more to maybe just one area of the world for now, condense that more and just let us get to know characters that we saw in like episode 1, just develop them a bit more. I think I would have appreciated that, but not what we got. So what did we end up with? Characters that I didn't really care for. No, lack of stakes, and a bunch of jargon that I didn't really care about either. I don't mind jargon, but it was too much jargoning for me in the mix of stuff that I didn't really care about. So I was just like, by the end of it, I was like,
I wouldn't call it
whatever.
jargon, because like if you
sounded like
know about
jargon to me.
MMOs, it's not really jargon.
It sounded like jargon to me. Yeah, jargon to me.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it makes sense to people who know all this stuff. But and I probably would have been, like I said, more invested if I cared more about the characters, and if the stakes were higher, then I'd be like on the edge of my seat, trying to pick up on everything that was said and understanding the strategies and the plots and stuff. But I didn't have those things beforehand. It made it harder to care about the strats and how somebody was going to beat somebody else. And and the MC is whatever to me. He's not that interesting to me. I guess he has cool moments, but yeah, even he needed to be fleshed out a bit more for my liking, especially in a series like this. So yeah, it is what it is. I wouldn't call it trash like Mussolini would, but yeah, not for me. Has too many things that it lacks that I like in my anime. And, this doesn't have it, and I'm not gonna give it 3 seasons for it to finally give me those things. Fortunately, sorry, Clark.
I understand that.
Yep. But anyway, Dan, what are your thoughts? Because you certainly had a few colorful thoughts about this show.
Um, I'll start with this was an absolutely horrible anime. Uh, so I have a lot of problems with this anime, but the first one is that this didn't feel like a proper show. It felt like a series of cutscenes from a very boring MMO. Everyone's dialogue, they didn't actually respond to each other. They were just kind of stating things. There was this one scene, I don't know if it was episode 11 or 12, but they were like explaining the Bard class for a suspiciously long amount of time. And I was like, why are you telling me this? This does not advance the plot. I don't need to know this. This doesn't affect me. And they spent like a good like 4 minutes of a 20-minute episode being like, yes, bards have this and they can do buffs and they can do that. And it's kind of like playing Dance Dance Revolution. And I was like, why is this relevant to any of the plot? Why are you spending time telling me this? And that's just one example, but the show does that like a lot where it'll tell you information that you absolutely do not need to know and is not relevant to anything. And maybe it's relevant in season 2 or 3 or whatever movies this thing may have. But I really hate when a show is like, oh, don't worry, once you get to like season 2 or 3, that's when it gets good. It's like, no, be good from the start.
Hunter x Hunter fans.
Well, to be fair,
That's not strictly true for Hunter. Come on now, Hunter x Hunter.
yeah, nah,
Well, what I hear about Hunter x Hunter is that it's slow, but it's not bad.
Nah,
yes.
no, Hunter x Hunter. They even like the final arc. They do a lot of explaining. Like they're still explaining. Like, they just do
The
it throughout.
final arc?
Yeah. Well, not the final, but like the final one in the anime.
Anywho,
They're coming
I
around.
also did not like the animation. It felt very like obvious and very uncreative. I thought the character designs, I get that they were trying to be like, this is clearly an MMO, but I'm like, you could still be an interesting MMO. Like, I honestly don't play that many video games, but like, a lot of video games have a very specific style. Skyrim has a very specific style. League of Legends has a very specific style.
True.
I don't know, Overwatch has a very specific style.
Hmm.
This show had like the blandest style for MMO. It was just like generic MMO number 9. There was nothing that there's nothing that really told you about the characters with their outfits except they're like, this one has a staff. Haha, that means they're a sorcerer. And I'm like, you could add anything to this person, runes, a spell book, something like they were all wearing just like generic robe you could find in like the bath section of a Macy's, and like none of their outfits gave any indication what their characters were beyond like the most base level of like bards wear this, tanks wear this. I was like, okay, why every time I was watching the show, I was like, why am I watching this? I've learned nothing. I've watched 4 hours of content and I've learned nothing.
Well, what you finished all of it?
Yes.
Oh wow, what a trooper! All
I was gonna
24 though.
quit at episode 9, but you guys were like, no, you have to keep finishing it. And I
Wait,
still
you-
learned nothing. The last like episode and a half was like bards can do DR and knights cast spells. That's what I learned. What are the goals of any of these characters?
They don't have any. Understated. We should just
I feel like
assume it.
that's kind of intentional though,
It
because
may be intentional, but it's still bad.
well, the whole point of the show, I feel, is that like none of them know why they're there, and they kind of want to give the viewers and watchers like the same feel, like what is going on, with like a lack of understanding what's going on and just trying to make like the best of the situation that they're put in.
Yeah, but if you were in a world where you didn't know what was going on, then your goal would be, what is going on? I'm trying to figure out what's going on. This is now like a mystery.
Well,
None
that's
of
like
that.
what
None of the characters.
Shiro's whole his whole thing is that that's like what he's trying to do, but while he's trying to do that, he's trying to make the living situation as best as it can be for the time being, since they don't know explicitly how long they're gonna be there for.
Maybe
That is
that was
really
the director's
explored.
intention, but how it comes off is he's just existing.
Yeah, that's yeah.
this, he's like, "Oh, food doesn't taste good."
They
Okay.
do not mention that quite a bit, but like every once in a while they'll throw you a bone and just remind you that he's just looking for the way to get out. Like in one of the dungeons that he later does, there's these moths that are destroying the antenna, and they find out that the only way, or the people that know why they're there, are living on the moon, so they have to use the antenna to communicate with them. It's kind of weird. But yeah, so they have to determine if they're gonna kill the moths and break the antenna, or if they want a hope of contacting the people on the moon. So that gives him at least some character development, like
So
showing that he has a weakness, and that like, because he was trying to command, but he wasn't being very effective since he was trying to determine whether he wanted to destroy it or not, even while they were in the dungeon, wiping out the moths.
I mean, that's all well and good, mate, but I don't want bones. As I said, I wanted steaks. I don't want the steak bones. I want the actual steak. So it's kind of like, yeah, as I said before, yeah, if that was explored more and if more stuff like that happened, then
Yeah,
we can
nothing was
talk.
truly explored. It was like, we'll throw you this bone and then we won't do anything with it.
Yet.
Yeah.
Well, in
And
a one season, I'm expecting something to be dealt with, and nothing was
That's
dealt.
fair, I feel.
Because then I'm like,
It was
okay,
just
you've given me this information. Shows give you information because it's supposed to matter. They're not supposed to give you information that doesn't mean anything. So then I get this information, and then nothing happens with this information, and then I'm just stuck with why am I watching this?
I feel like
Why
they
did that
also
scene
just
matter?
they introduced so many characters in season 1 that you need to remember that, like, they have to focus on those characters that much, or else, like, they won't be
I will not
memorable
give
by the
that as an
next time you see
excuse
'em.
because there are plenty of shows that have excruciatingly long lists of characters like Game of Thrones, Downton Abbey. Um, like there are shows that have very, very long lists of characters, and you still know what's going on with them,
And I
even
think
from the
that's just yeah.
introduction.
I think that's just the pacing and introducing stakes and character motivations and that kind of stuff. Pretty much the basics of most TV shows, you know.
What
Once you have the
happened to that
foundation
brother
for
and sister
that.
who wanted to be like rescued by Shiro?
Did they not get rescued in season 1?
I feel like I remember them being
Yeah,
introduced.
they do get rescued in season
Yeah.
1.
I cannot remember it.
Well, they get
Yeah.
rescued in season 1, and they are whenever the show focuses on them, that is when I want to stop watching. There was a segment in like season 2 where it's just those two and then like the little squad that they formed, and it just focuses on their journey for like 3 episodes, and I wanted to gouge my eyes out, and I heavily considered dropping the show.
Yeah, out of 10 though.
What?
Uh,
What?
What?
What did you say, Nova?
Yeah, Nova, what'd you say? You cut out.
Oh, you're gonna yeah, sure. That's what they always say. Anyway. So
Running
Nova.
away.
Clark, do you want to talk about how this show is a harem now? Thank you.
It's
What?
so that annoys me so much that in that one episode they make it apparent that the 3 girls, Akatsuki, Henrietta, and then the little girl all have a crush on him. And what gets me even more upset is that in season 2 and 3 they do not mention that Henrietta likes him once, and it is just between Akatsuki and the little girl.
Oh,
That is
actually, that's another thing that annoyed me is that this felt like a very bland version of like teenage boy power fantasy number 72 of like, oh my God, I'm just so interesting in this world, and all the girls just have a crush on me because I simply exist, not because I
Yes.
do anything or interact with with like their lives in any way, but just because I exist, therefore I am now crushable. And I'm like, that's so annoying because it makes these people's personalities that they have a crush on the main character, which is the dullest and blandest thing you can possibly have.
Yeah, Akatsuki's character definitely could have been better if they didn't just focus that she liked him literally the whole time.
What is her personality? What does she want to do in her life? What is her background? I know none of
Who
that.
She wants
cares?
to do
Who cares?
literally.
It's a harm.
Okay, well, also, you don't know the backstory of anybody because it's a video game world, and they don't talk about like their real life.
Yeah.
The only
Well,
time that
for the
you
for
get
the
like
short girl who's like a ninja or
yeah,
assassin
Akatsuki.
person, whatever.
Well, for all of them.
Actually, no. Well,
Yeah, that's
The
interesting,
only
right? That,
the only
'cause,
like
like,
way that
you go ahead. You go ahead.
you go ahead, you go ahead, you go ahead, you got it.
Wait. Thanks. Yeah. No, that's actually so because they don't talk about their real life experiences. It's quite hard to build like the character because you don't have the flashbacks that a lot of anime use. So it's kind of like in a way this show is showing how underrated like small flashbacks are, even though we sometimes hate them. And occasionally they go on for way too long. Like no one wants to see like 2 episode long flashbacks unless they're super super good. But this show kind of needed it because you just don't know any of the characters' motives other than Shura. It's really hard to tell what they're doing in the world. Yeah, that was my point.
What I was gonna say is that in season 2, obviously there's no way for you guys to know this since we didn't have to watch season 2, but both Akatsuki and Shiro die at one point, and that's the only place that you get to see like a glimpse of their past. And the way that like losing memories works when you die is that you relive the memory after you die, and then you have to like let go of it. So like Shiro's was about like how his parents were never around and he always had to like be off on his own, and sometimes he would just sneak out and sit on the park bench at night even though he was only like 7 years old. And so it was about that and like him learning to like let go, and that whatever it was the message it was trying to tell. I don't really remember or care, to be frank. I don't like Shiro's character.
okay.
That's
After hearing
that's
that
the first thing
backstory,
we
I
should
like
have
the
seen.
character even less.
Yeah,
Well, at least,
it's
well,
it's
well, at
kind
least it's a
of
backstory.
classic. Yeah, like it's not very. Oh, I can hear myself. It's not very unique to him since they do that with like almost every other protagonist that's in a video game.
But what I hate
Sometimes,
about
yeah.
that character backstory is it's like this false. It's a really stupid way of being like this character is independent, misunderstood, and they just really want to be loved, and that's why they're just so cool to everything and everything that they do. I'm like, that's dumb.
Okay, well, also, like, basically, oh, that elf guy, the one that runs William, Massachusetts. For some reason, his name's Massachusetts.
Really,
I
Massachusetts.
found that pretty funny. That was pretty funny. But they give he was basically doing the raid party that Shiro was in season 2, and in order to motivate his troops, he told them about like his real life, and they basically all agreed, since they're all gamers and losers, since they're level 90, that they have literally everybody's backstory is the same.
Disrespect.
Literally all the backstories are the same, and they're just like social outcasts at school with no friends, and that the only people that they can turn to like talk to, or like the only friends they have are the ones in the game, and that this is like the best thing to ever happen to them.
It's a stereotypical
Yep.
look on the average
Yep.
gamer. So it doesn't offer anything creative or new in that aspect. It's
Yep.
just what we expect. Okay, right. Okay, sure. Anyway,
Like,
do
look
we
at
have
this
any
character
favorite?
design: a green elf with long hair and a bluish bow. Wow.
I
But his
mean,
name is William Massachusetts.
Yep.
Which
Yeah,
is
that's
a
not his
weird,
name.
but even William Massachusetts is a weird name because if your name was Massachusetts, like when I hear that name, I'm like, this person did no research into what names are. Because I'm like, okay, William, that's a traditionally British or colonial England name. And then Massachusetts, a Native American name. Why is this person's name William Massachusetts?
Maybe there's a
Would have been
backstory. That
what, that he was born in Massachusetts, but he's actually English or something. Yeah,
yeah,
and then he plays out that too.
maybe they call him Will for short. People are called Will in America.
Will Mass.
Will, Massachusetts.
Like,
See?
these character decisions are just silly.
I thought it would be pretty funny if they used their like gamer tags instead of actually giving them real life names. But
See.
They didn't
I
take
think
that
it would have
route.
been much more interesting if they actually had gamer tags as
Yeah,
names.
because that's like it would add some personality at the very least.
It would be funnier, and it would also make more gags for comedy purposes, but also like more suspense if it like someone's name is like, I don't know, Cute Bunny 31, and they're like the evil arch nemesis of the world or something, or someone's name is like Demon Lord Slayer XXX or whatever, and they're like the bard healer. It would at least give some sort of, maybe
Well, they
not
do.
super complicated humor, but at least a little like of a, huh, that's funny.
Yeah, lighthearted banter.
Yeah, I definitely agree that that would make it funnier since like the show obviously tried focusing on comedy a bit, but
Did it?
sometimes in the show they tried. See, sometimes you gotta recognize when they try being funny, even though it's not funny in the slightest. Sometimes you just gotta live with it. But oh, what was I gonna say, Nova? You interrupted me.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, what a
I
shame.
Are we
apologize.
gonna say that the show sucks?
Um, Season 1 definitely is on the brim of being called bad.
Aha! He concedes. Almost
Yeah,
concedes. The
almost.
error in your ways. But this will cheer you up, mate. What are the best parts of this entire season?
Next question.
Anybody? Okay, all right. No. You don't get to be on this bandwagon. You have some. Like you
I
don't.
don't. Not from season 1, because season 1, the whole entirety was either them at the round table, them at that conference with the king, or whatever everybody else was doing. The festival stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
Uh,
talking and negotiating. Kind of reminds me of like Star Wars Episode 1 and 2, where they're just like talking, and you're like, man, like fucking A, we get it.
golly.
They're at a conference and they're negotiating.
Hey man, space jargon, political space jargon. It's not to like.
Well, in this case, it's political MMO isekai jargon.
The one part that I liked was
Strategizing with
them
NPCs.
making the burgers. I like the burgers.
See, nah. See, I don't like your tone, young man.
What do
I
you
don't like.
mean? I just
What
said I
about
like
what
the
about
burger part.
what about the or the
Spit it out.
uh,
Come on
ooh,
now.
this is tough.
I believe you.
Well, I like the part where I was right about it being a harem. I'm just waiting for Svat to admit that.
Yeah, it's
So I
a
can
harm.
get
Yeah,
on this
I
ride.
understand now.
Thank you.
I get it now.
Thank you.
Okay. I
Thank you.
just
That's all
hope
I
that it
needed.
wouldn't be, because it always happens in these like isekais. Always, every time. It's like someone deviate, but this show's like, nah, fuck it.
No deviation for you, mate. I'm not even gonna bother asking Dan. Svat, do you have any favorite moments that stuck out to you? Your journey in this world that I don't know the name of.
I mean, there was like that one time with like they had to travel, like right at the start of season 1, they had to travel somewhere, and it was supposedly it would take them 3 months. And I was like, damn, that's a long time. Like, are they really gonna make this? Are they really gonna time skip this 3 months and they just give them giant birds? They're like, nope, it would actually take them 6 hours.
Giant birds.
I was like,
for the
hey,
win.
nice. And then I have to watch
Nice.
like a road trip.
What a save.
No, I also like the NPC, like the NPC, them being a part of the world is interesting. Them being alive in the world.
Oh yeah, the cookie part. Yeah.
Takes the the kind of like the politics route on that, in that is the characters finding out how to interact with the NPCs and affect their world, rather than like the psychological part where you could think about, are they really real, or are they just coded, all that shit. They're just like, no, we're gonna skip that. Let's negotiate with them. Which is fair. Like, it would have been out of place a little bit if they were all of a sudden, getting all up in their own heads, because they should have started doing that from the start if they were gonna do that.
Fair. I liked episode 1. it gave me a lot of hope. I was actually like, okay, I like this world. They build on some of the stuff that they've introduced to us in the first episode. Then I could see myself liking this quite a bit, but they never really built on anything I particularly cared about. So yeah, but it starts off well for me. It started off well. It just didn't live up to its promise. So
Well, for you to start off well means just like literally episode 1. Like,
yes,
I wouldn't even say it started.
it was fine. It was just like, okay, here's this guy. Okay, here's his friend.
It didn't set anything. It just had a show with characters.
But the just the concept and the world and the MC seemed like he had potential, and the buddy camaraderie adventure build up that was kind of setting up. I could see myself enjoying that. Not saying it would have led to a masterpiece or an 8 or 9 out of 10, but maybe a solid 7. Just but I didn't even get that. So I didn't even get the basics. Didn't even get the foundations. So it was a shame. I like me a good fast food anime, and I thought this could maybe be added to the list. The Blood Blockade, Bungo Stray Dogs, but no, I don't get to be there.
it feels bad.
At least Bongo Stray Dogs had attractive characters.
Yeah, Bungo straight up.
Uh,
I wouldn't
Like
lie.
Bongo Stray Dogs, I was like, I don't know why the fuck I'm watching this, but everyone had mad drip.
Yeah, it's like yeah, like they didn't have any purpose and you're confused of what's going on, but they're well dressed. So this is why it's
colorful too.
yeah, it is like yeah. This show also kind of like I don't know if it lacked color, it just didn't have anything that I noticed.
It's anime. This is one of the most creative mediums. You're supposed to go nuts with this. That's why we get shows like JoJo.
Well,
Like, you
JoJo
let your
actually also
creativity-
had like a season 1 of JoJo is the
Oh
is
wait,
the
yeah,
building
well,
season,
yeah,
right?
True,
But then they
yeah,
do
but-
change like mechanics every season more or less. It's like
Yeah,
and that
season
one gives you
was
just
pretty
enough.
bad.
And that gives you just enough that you're at least curious enough to go to the next season. Gives you just about enough. You're like, okay, all right, let me just see where this is going.
Actually,
rewards you
not
for
one
that.
bit at all. Remember the only reason I watched JoJo was because I was told to, and I watched half of season 1 and did not want to watch it at all. And I was promised that it gets good eventually, so I had to
Yes.
sit through all of that, and I guess it was worth it to get to Stardust Crusaders, but I
Yes.
stopped watching during part 4.
Oh,
I have not seen JoJo.
You're not missing
Aw.
much.
don't listen to him.
I like the
I'll say
fan
this
art.
much.
He's just a bunch of muscle men.
I'll just say,
yeah,
I'll say this
exactly.
much.
That's one of
it's
the
not.
appeals.
Isn't
for
part
everyone.
4 when they get rid of the muscles? Literally, they had Jotaro in part 4, and he was a skinny lad.
Oh, I don't want that shit.
No,
Just-
Josuke,
just-
that's
I don't want no Timothy Chalamala Ding Dongs.
Disrespectful. Disrespectful.
no, they never. I mean, they toned down the muscles like, a little bit, but
Yeah.
A lot. They toned it down a lot.
yeah, but it is a bit disappointing.
Oh yeah, no more muscles. Yeah, no more bulging muscles. Oh yeah. You get goat level stories.
Go level star right? How, bro? You don't even have
What?
it.
I
Like,
watched
you have it as
JoJo
a
for the
9.
fighting.
Have it as a 9. What are you talking about?
What?
Yes, no, I was talking to Svat, mate, because he was about to start hating for no reason.
A 9?
Stardust
Part-
Crusaders.
Wait, Star. That's the one you like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so yeah, Stardust Crusaders Part 2. Yeah, I have that as a 9. Same as
Yeah,
you.
I liked part 2.
The good shit.
Yeah. Diamonds Unbreakable is better, but we're not gonna get into that.
No.
No,
No.
bad take.
No. Bad take.
bad-
Bad
no,
Have you
come on,
seen
bro.
Diamonds Unbreakable?
Yes.
Oh, that was Clark.
I watched the first 4 episodes and then I
Oh
was
no,
Yeah, well,
done with it.
no,
that's the
no,
correct decision. It's
no,
not.
no,
It's
don't
not
listen
good.
to Svat.
The
Svat has
second that
admitted he's
the-
a hater.
the second that
admitted
the
he's a hater
army
that
men-
season.
That guy with the army, like the little, what are they called? The army toys? Where the tank started shooting that guy? I'm just like, this show is not it anymore.
It's genius.
They
mate.
removed the stakes. There's none
Oh,
anymore.
they didn't. They actually didn't. They actually
There's
made the
none.
stakes more tense than
No,
ever.
they
But Star
didn't,
Wars
man.
removed it. Yes,
Don't
they
come on.
did.
No,
Just because it's
how?
not planetary doesn't mean the
How's it more
stakes got
tense then?
lower.
Like you
Because it's more personal. It's more
I have
personal to
no,
the
but
characters.
I never feel
The-
like they're gonna like. They don't have like the. Oh, whatever. We'll not go into it. But there's no DO either.
Exactly.
You also never feel like the characters are gonna die. Where in Stardust Crusaders,
Yeah,
any of
exactly.
them could die at any
Mate,
moment.
mate, finish that season and say that to me again.
It's
I
true.
do
Finish
not
that
want
and say
to.
that to me. No, it
They make
isn't.
more or
do
less
not
everyone
want to.
OP, other than Jota.
Oh
Like
my
Jotaro,
god.
he used to be OP and he's no longer. They take away his
And
power.
in Stardust Crusaders,
That's
none of
lame, bro.
oh, okay. You know what?
What were you about to
I
say?
don't-
Not
What were you
doing
about
it.
to say?
No, we're not in that meeting. We're not in the JoJo
That's
meeting.
fair. That's fair.
Now we gotta skip some stuff. Okay. First moments we pretty much already went through that because Dan said all of them. No. Okay, character you would not invite to dinner and why?
None of them. They're all fucking boring.
Okay. So okay, that's Dan's answer. Svat.
Who would I invite to the man?
Would not invite.
One of the chefs, I guess. Like they can
Yeah,
actually cook
dude.
decent food.
That's what I'm saying.
A chef subclass in real life. Free food. Let's go. You just need to buy the ingredients. Although the
Okay.
cat guy was kind of annoying.
What?
Yeah, come on now. Let's all be honest.
What'd he do to annoy you?
Wait, who?
He's too smiley. He's just too.
Cat
He's always
guy.
he's always got a smirk. It's either like those characters usually have a hidden motive, but he like I don't see him have a hidden motive yet. He's just like a bit cheery. And it's just fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
But doesn't like
Yeah.
happy people.
No.
That's the type
Yeah,
of person to go on Twitter and block people if he sees that they're in a happy relationship.
I'm just like mute.
One of them ones.
Don't want to hear that shit.
Wait, that's actually really funny.
One of them ones. So you'd invite the chef, but you wouldn't invite the cat.
No, I would definitely. Wait, no. Yeah, I would invite like a chef character who's not the cat, and I would. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I just wouldn't invite him. Fuck it.
Okay, fair enough. I would invite the blonde guy.
The shield. Yeah.
And
What? The blonde guy?
yeah, the guy who dies but doesn't really die. He comes back, forgets
William,
some of his memory.
Massachusetts.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Such a stupid
Are you
name.
talking about Rundle House?
Rundle
Sure.
House. His name is Rundle House? What kind of name
Yeah,
is Rundle House?
The blonde kid. That was annoying.
Can't be a real name, surely. Rondo House.
Mad. Yeah, on die.
It is, yeah. Coda Rondo House. Oh, wait, I didn't notice that. What a unit name. Good for you, I guess. Rondo House.
Die.
Oh, the guy called Krusty as well.
Krusty. Yeah, I wouldn't invite Krusty just because of his name, because it's too ridiculous. I'd laugh too much.
But what's wrong with crust?
Krusty.
Breadcrumbs, man. You can have like a croutons as well. I guess they're considered crust.
Croutons. Guess so. Yeah. Clark, what about you?
I would invite Nyanta the cat and Lanessia.
That's up.
The people I would not invite are Rundle House and what's that guy's name? Demikos.
I don't know who any of those people are, but
Rondo.
okay.
Rundle House is the blonde guy that I think Svat
Oh.
said that he wanted to invite.
Oh wait, yeah, Rondo House. Oh, he's the
And-
guy that's like really incompetent, right?
Yes, sir. That's
Yeah.
that's the one. And then Demikos is the one that was at the other city that basically ran it. That big guy. That was just a big bully, basically. The one that wanted the red-haired girl to stay in the city.
All right. Fair enough. Would this have what bear as a movie?
I mean,
Maybe the
What would have
first
what
season.
what would the movie have been about?
It would have been like the initial part where Shiro meets the
Like the first
um,
Evangelion movie.
where
Okay.
Shiro starts piloting Mecha. He's also
It's only just starting in the first movie. It's mostly just
yeah.
plot development in the first movie, which is not very fun.
I mean,
Mhm.
it would be hard to put the first season in the movie because they do talk a bunch, they do talk a lot and introduce a lot of things and characters. So it's hard to see how they can make a movie interesting. It just probably not, I guess. I think it would work better. Work better, I would have to watch less, I guess. I have to watch 25 episodes,
Yeah.
see them introduce all these things. Hopefully they try and do it in 90 minutes. Save me some time.
True. Yeah, I don't think it would. I don't think it would have been better story wise, but it really wasn't a story. So a conundrum.
I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
Would you rather live in the Log Horizon world or in the Sword Art Online world?
Log Horizon world.
Yeah.
Why
Only
would that
because
be?
if you die,
Don't die.
yeah, like you're fine. In Sword Art Online, you're fucked. You just die in real life. I don't need.
Hey,
I'll be really stressed out.
I was thinking about this, but in Sword Art Online, I would rather live in the Sword Art Online world. Not to be a contrarian, but in Log Horizon world, you don't know any ends and you don't know any means to an end. There's hardly any rules put in place in the towns, and like obviously the Round Table Conference is the only one attempting to do that. And you can die and lose your memories, so if you die enough times, you're just not gonna remember anything, so it doesn't matter if you wake up because you'll basically have amnesia and you'll be a new person. But in Sword Art Online world, you at least know that there's a definite end, there's measures put in place to prevent player killing, and, like, you don't even have to fight if you don't want to. You can just live on one of those floors like some of those people did and, like, sell stuff or make food.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Still,
Like
it's
you would
still
have to die a
pretty
lot of times to lose your memory, and then also like there's a save zone in the Horizon, right? So you don't have to leave that. Say if you're really bad at the game, you can just sit there and like eat the bland food. The problem is the boredom. You might just eventually go out there, try and
Well, yeah,
like.
that's another thing. Like Sword Art Online, there's at least like stuff to do more than here because everybody here is just sitting around on the streets trying to figure out what they want to do because they don't want to fight because there's no point in really doing it because it's not like it's a video game anymore. It's like their actual life. So they have to figure out something to do, and there's just nothing to do.
yeah.
I love how
It's
you're
just
like, at least in the other Muse universe, you could die. That's
yes.
fun.
That
You're in a
is a
lot of
pro in
danger.
this situation. Like, if you really just wanted to get out of it ASAP, you could just end it. I'm not even
Oh
kidding.
god.
Like that's an like even if you wanted to kill yourself in Log Horizon, you can't, and that is probably
At least in
worse.
this universe, you can
Living,
fucking die.
yeah, living eternally is not the move. I don't feel.
But you can keep dying in Log Horizon, like you said. So you just lose your memories, which is more or less the same as like becoming a new person. So eventually you just forget that you even wanted to lose. You just go on happily. Like you would die, lose
Well,
your memories, and then you'll just come back, be like, oh, nice. Let's find out more about this world, and then
I don't
you find
think
out,
I
and
don't
do that
think
again.
you lose your memories of in the game. I think you only lose them of
Oh
in the real
no.
world because that's how that worked earlier, like in the show.
A bad deal.
So
Still
Oh
all your
no.
bad.
memories involving the game still stand.
Yeah, you might be right on this one because the Log Horizon feels a lot like purgatory. You're just stuck there. No matter what I do.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking before. And you guys were the ones that said Log Horizon first, so who's the idiot
Yeah,
now?
but that's the thing. We were thinking through an anime set of eyes, you know. We were thinking,
Yes.
okay, so I can't die. There's no risk. Calm. But then you realize like the food has no flavor.
That's the worst part, that there's no flavor.
And you have to find a chef, and all the chefs are like in the big fucking guilds, and you're just some dude, mid level, probably. Unless you're lucky and you have like that. So why would you be a chef in an MMO? Like, what was the point of that? Like, cook stuff for other people, but stuff doesn't.
Yeah,
You can't eat stuff.
fictional food.
Yeah. Like I struggle to imagine how many of the players would have actually been chefs before, like before they turned into a video game. Probably like 0.02% of the players. Only the people that were really, really bored and like, fuck it, let me just make some virtual food I'll never get to taste until
Mm.
they get trapped in this video game world, and they're like, yes. That's why the guy's so happy, I guess, the cat guy, because he's like, this wasn't all a waste of time.
I mean, yeah, maybe you have a point, Clark. I don't know.
But then isn't part of Sword Art Online where only a certain amount of people can live?
No, like you can live if you survive. There's no
Oh,
guarantee
okay.
you survive though, that's the thing.
I thought there was like a plot where the world was shutting down, but I might have gotten it confused with something else.
That sounds like it would be interesting. I want to watch that show. But anyway, yeah. You do have a point, Clark. Having the option of death, the sweet release is nice, but then there's the constant stress. Constant stress. Yeah, I don't know. The sticky
I mean,
one.
there are safe
Safe zones.
As long as there's safe zones, then that's fine.
Safe zones.
If there weren't any safe zones, then Sword Art Online would basically be like, it should be a very gritty anime. Then it should be like Berserk, where everyone's just like, fuck, hope no one comes and kills me. Hope no random dude of 50 levels higher than me like one shots me.
Oh man, it would be like living in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Whoa, except you don't come back. Oh man.
You're living in like Dark Souls, you have like 1 HP left, and you've gotten to like the end where you can't defeat the boss, but you don't want to go back. So you're just like, man, you're just tiptoeing around. Hopefully you can like snake your way into getting past or getting to like a save point.
Man, that's terrifying. You're gonna have Dark Souls related nightmares. Me being in that world. Not being able to come back. Yeah. Anyway. This show have a soundtrack?
Yeah. It's
Is it good?
it's I like how this was another thing I liked about this show. I forgot to mention it earlier, that they make sure to like not go too far. I don't know how I'm trying to describe this, but the soundtrack only has 23 songs, I think. They talked about it in the show, but it's those specific songs because those are like part of the game soundtrack. And there's just this whole plot about her making the Bard girl making her own song, and that gets added to the soundtrack. But those songs are the only ones used like in the song, in the show. So I guess like it's another reason why it feels more like you're there, in addition to the part about it being like pretty boring since no one knows what to do. If that made any sense.
So there's only 23. So that gives even more credence to wanting to live in the Sword Art Online world, given that you hear the same 23 sounds over and over again. It's like quietly playing in the background.
And not all of them are bangers.
No.
Oh, what a shame.
And even the bangers, like eventually you'll just get tired of them. You'll just be
Oh
like, man.
yeah, for sure.
Alright. Fair enough. Okay, award time.
And sure.
Would this series be better or worse if Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star came through and blew up somebody's head?
I'd say yeah.
Better. It'll be better.
Yeah, make stuff interesting.
Especially if he can kill the characters, then if he's the one person that goes around and just like no respawn for them. Okay.
That would be a
Like, go
good
to-
plot. That would
Yeah,
be a good
and they
idea.
have to stop Kenshiro. I'm sure they would find a way that the MC stops Kenshiro. Maybe he
Oh, yeah,
talks to
no, of
him.
course.
But do the shonen
course,
treatment where it's like, yes, no, Kenshiro, you have to realize the error of your ways. This is not what you should be doing. And then Kenshiro has a flashback, and like, yeah, he joins Shiro's guild, and he's like level 10.
Fuck no jutsu, as they say. From
Yeah,
Naruto.
do better.
Okay. I'm not gonna disagree. But spice things up for sure.
Unless he has a cooldown on his like blowing up heads thing, then that would kind of fuck everything.
Oh no. I'll do that
Like
to
a
the
2-day
goat.
cooldown. Kenshiro's
Oh,
just
no.
walking around. Like, what do I do now?
Oh man.
Existential crisis.
That would have been an interesting arc to follow. Yeah, what do I do
As soon
now?
as the 2 days are over, he quickly just like blows up some random dude's head and it's like, damn, another 2 days.
You'd have to think about when he wants to use it then. You have to learn new skills.
Yeah, it'll be this character development.
Yeah, see? Makes the show better. Well, just entirely. He should be the MC actually. There you go.
Kenshin
him
Log
around.
Horizon.
Yes.
But would you respect the MMO mechanics to introduce? Probably not. No.
At first. Then through time
You'd be very
realizes-
angry at the cooldowns because cooldowns are very like anti shonen, you know. Like shonen, like in a shonen they'll just be they'll get past the cooldowns via the power of like willpower and and hard work.
course. Anyway. Awards. Clark, who's the best character? Polnareff Award. Best character.
I'd say Nyanta.
Oh man, what?
Okay, I'm confused on why you think he's annoying besides the smirk that he always has.
It's just, as I'm saying, he's just happy with his like the chef subclass. That's the realization, and it's like, okay, bro, you made a wise choice. Well done.
He's like a man in his 50s though. I feel like he's definitely an old fella.
What if he's
That
like
is
just
just
a
living.
13-year-old, you know, who's very bored?
There's no way he's 13 because the way he talks and like the knowledge that he has is like the wisdom of some elder.
He's like an old dude playing an MMO. I mean, fair enough.
That's what I'm
but we
thinking.
don't know. We don't get to see that backstory until then. No.
So,
No,
yeah,
no
yeah.
for me. Yeah, I will admit.
Okay. All right. Dan, what about you? Best character?
I can't give this award. They all suck. They're all so boring.
Oh, what?
There's
I
only
I
one.
can't even like
one good
remember.
choice.
They're so forgettable. I can't, in good faith, give a best character award to anyone in this show.
Wow.
William Massachusetts. That's all I have to
William
say.
No, William Massachusetts is dumb. I hate him.
William
Is that the blonde guy that I like, or is it just some other blonde guy?
Some other blonde guy.
Oh, no,
Who's the
not
blonde?
him.
Wait, is that a Ranto house?
Yes, him.
Oh my gosh. I
Oh
have
yeah,
no
yeah.
respect
Corner
for
of
you
Toronto house.
anymore.
Been here for this.
Yes.
No,
yeah, there
no,
we go.
no, no,
Yeah.
no.
Wow, what a guy! What a win!
Look, just think about how
Expected.
happy he would be at the awards ceremony. You know, like, these guys are all level 90. They'll be super disappointed. This man is like level 15.
Okay.
That could be detrimental to any raids.
That's my vote.
Yeah,
Wow. What
You
a
guys
guy.
suck.
Congratulations.
Has to be
suck.
wrong.
You
Has
guys
to.
suck.
Moomin Rider. Okay, Clark. Here you go. I'll give the cat guy Moomin Rider.
No.
Let's give
Yes,
the
it's
cat
charm.
guy, Nyanta.
Yes, it's
Let's
charms.
go.
He has his
Yeah,
charms.
yeah.
I don't trust him, but he has his charms.
I trust him with my life.
I wouldn't.
I would.
Dan, are you gonna vote for this one?
What is this award again?
Oh, yeah, most underrated.
Again, I have to pass. Everyone is appropriately rated as boring.
Okay. Swat.
Well, it doesn't matter. So
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he says. 'Cause
well,
Nyanta wins. Let's
Krusty.
go.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Just trying to be difficult.
Swat. Who's the most useless character?
Nyanta. Fuck him. Actually, I can't even say that because he makes the food.
Yeah, exactly.
That NPC at the end of season 1 who tries to scheme but then fails. Then I'm not sure if he appears ever again. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
Random NPC. Dan. Who's useless? Who's the most useless?
They're
Oh,
all
are you talking about,
useless.
are you talking about the guy
Okay.
that looks like a clown?
Yeah.
Gee, yeah, I vote for him. I vote for him.
Okay.
may.
I'm voting for literally everyone. They're all useless.
Okay, there's a one vote for everyone. I'll just go with Svan Clark. Take you guys' word for it.
I don't even know his name. He's in like almost every single season, and he like still is literally just there to say, "Yeah, you tell him." That's all he does. He is just the epitome of a useless character.
Fair enough. Onizuka Award, funniest character.
Oh god.
Who had us laughing?
I'd just say Natsugo because there's not a ton of humor that lands.
The comic relief guy, the big comic relief guy.
Yep, Natsugo.
That guy.
The Nazi guy.
Gets it by default.
What about Krusty?
Krusty's not funny. Krusty's just there.
It's a funny name. Krusty the Clown.
I just give it to Natsuga, yeah. I'm here for this.
Kenji Award, no. Gohan Award, Psycho Award. Nobody's nuts.
I mean, there was that one guy in season 1 who for some reason really wanted to trap the little girl in the base. Like, you know.
Yeah, Demikos.
Yeah, like why?
You can get Sus Award then.
Yeah, he gets that
Yeah.
award.
Just why don't I mean I guess like it's just out of boredom maybe, I don't know. I don't have anything else to do, might as well bully some low level players. But even then, why? Learn how to cook.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Sus Award for that guy. The greasy Sus Award.
No Marceline to take the hit for
no.
the Sus Award.
Oh, no. He's the one who gives them out at this point, you know. Of the ceremony. Okay, ratings. Clark, your ratings, please.
7.
Okay. And rewatchability.
Like a 1.
1. Oh,
Yeah.
some stan you are.
What was that supposed to mean?
Nothing. I shall give it. So it's a tough one, but 6.0 and 0 out of 10 watchability. Oh, 0 out of 5
0 out of
watchability.
5?
0
Oh
out
wait,
of
you
5.
can give things zeros?
Yes,
sir.
of course.
Oh, I thought the lowest was 1. I'm giving this a 0 for both.
I mean, in theory, you can give things like a negative rating as well if you really, really hated it.
You can do negative ratings?
If
Don't
you want
do
to
that,
erase
don't
it from
put-
your mind, then yes.
Don't do. You can just break
Dan,
the scale.
I want you to watch Big Order and then come back to me and let me know if you still think this show's a 0.
Oh wait, that's true. 0 means it's the absolute worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life, which I don't think
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 1 then.
Oh,
Because 1 is bad enough where I'm like, I will actively not recommend. Like, what is the opposite of recommend?
Actively warn people
Avoid.
to avoid.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
actively warn people about this anime.
You like
Oh,
seek
man.
out people to warn. Like, no, if you're
Like,
thinking
if
of
0
watching,
is the worst thing I've ever seen, 10 is the best thing I've ever seen, then I feel like 1 and 9 are like, I will tell people not to watch this, and I will tell people to watch this.
Let's see. Alright, fair. And Svat.
I'll give it a yeah, a 6. No, 5.95.
5-point coward.
It would
Oh
be a
my
6 on my mouth,
gosh.
but like, yeah, just give it the 0.5 deduction. Need my steak.
Oh, okay.
Wait, did he say 9.5 or 5.5?
5.95.
Oh my god.
I was tempted to give it a 5.5.
That would be a Marceline
but-
rating if I all of a sudden just throw out 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah. And rewatchability.
Like a 2. No, like a 1.
Really? I was about to say, I'm like, there's no way you think it's that high if I don't.
Yeah, you're never going back to this.
Well, this rewatchability is gonna. Wait, what was your rewatchability, Nova?
0.
Oh my god, this is gonna have a record low.
It's
gonna have a-
0.5. It's 0.5.
Oh no. I don't think anything's had a lower rewatchability. Surely Beyond the Boundary has a higher one than this. Well, in terms of rewatchability, not rating. I think rating should be okay.
Well, I don't know about that.
The one might drag it down, but this, there's no Anderson
Yeah.
to give it a 2 out of nowhere as well. He's
But
the
I'm
one that
thinking that the 1, since there's only 4 of us, is enough to drag it down to below
Let me see this.
Beyond the Boundary.
14. Wait.
Filter it
13,
out, mate.
14, 19. It's a 4. It's a 4.9. 4.9.
Ooh, that's
4.98.
4.99. Jeez. Man. Well. Anyway. Thank you all for being here
Oh boy.
this lovely night. It was an adventure watching this show. No pun intended. And I'm glad that it's over.
It is better than Beyond the Boundary.
It is, yeah, it is.
How did Beyond the Boundary get a 3.5?
It's trash. That's
Okay, I agree that it is one of the worst shows that I've seen, but really? A 3.5?
not good, mate.
I thought it was
Just
bad,
not
and
good.
I still gave it a 4.
No, I gave it like a 5. I think like the animation has to count for something, you know. I had decent animation.
Yeah, it had good animation and pretty good fights. It was just the
It
characters
was that
I
dance
all
episode.
hated. It
was that
was
dance-
that
that was
was
the final
pretty
straw.
awful.
That was the final straw. I was like, no.
That's
no.
what made me drop it the first time.
Oh, no. Never again. And when an anime actively annoys me, yeah, no. That ain't it, Chief. But yeah, anyway. Thank you all for showing up. Svat, please have the new list out.
Wait.
whenever.
Yeah. Oh.
And appreciate it, guys. And I will see you all in a future life. And out.